Hey everybody, I'm making the much requested how to pack and ship a whatnot order. I'm going to be going over a lot today, but let's jump right in. So you're going to log into your whatnot and you're going to go to your seller's portal and click on your shipments. I have a whole bunch to pack, so let's get right into it. So as you know, it's going to immediately default to a 12 by 12 by 12 and whatever ounces you have sold it as, but we are going to change it. So first, look at this kitty. I picked the hardest one to start with. So this vintage cat has chain to her babies there, so it's a little bit harder to pack. Usually I would completely separate all of these pieces, but you can't because they're attached with the chain. So we are going to do our best to package them all together and make sure they get safe and sound to where they're going. So first I took a long piece for the big cat and then 2 little pieces for each of the small cats. I know I jumped right into this, but at the end, I'm going to go over some most asked questions. And also, if there's anything that you want me to cover, just put it in the comment section below, and I will make sure to make another video addressing all of your questions and concerns. Okay, so here we are. We're going to wrap the 2 little baby kitties, and then we're going to push them close to the mama kitty. And then we're going to wrap all of it in the bubble wrap. I should tag the person who bought this so that they can watch me wrapping it, so that when they're unwrapping it, they're very, very careful. But can't be too safe or sorry with the bubble wrap, so we're going to add as much bubble wrap as we think is needed. And then here is the key for me. So take a look at that. It looks pretty good already, but I love this shrink wrap. I think that this is a lifesaver, and I think that this helps so much. So after we get it all wrapped, we are going to make it like a little football and shrink wrap it. I prefer shrink wrap over tape. It's easier to cut through, it's easier to pull off, it's easier to open, and it's not going to stick to anything. And you don't have to use scissors to open it, so you don't have the risk of breaking something. And then here's my throw test. You throw it across the room. Just kidding, not throwing it, but that is good to go. Now I'm going to take it and walk over to my box pile I got going on over here. And because I did sell it at 1 to 2 pounds, it can go in a priority box. So we're going to find a priority box that we think it can fit in. This one I liked at first, but I didn't think it was going to be wide enough. And then I looked and it fits perfectly in one of the small ones. So that's what it's going to go in, but it can't go like that. Though it is wrapped pretty good, we do want to put a little bit extra padding on there. So I'm going to take it back over to the table and see how much more bubble and pad we can put around it. As you will see as we go through this video, I like to use a lot of different things, different size bubble, paper, shrink wrap. I like to use a little bit of everything. So I'm going to grab 2 pieces of paper here, and the packing paper really does a good job of giving that extra layer of protection, and also it helps it so that nothing is going to wobble around inside the box. Even with this bubble wrap that I'm going to show you my machine in a little bit, sometimes the bubble still breaks. So paper, I know some people don't like it, but man, some of the best packing that I have done or that I have received has been in just paper or mainly paper, or always has some paper in it. So I put a couple things of paper and then a piece of bubble wrap in the bottom. I did try to shove another piece of bubble wrap on top, but it was just not fitting. And I didn't need to squeeze any more in this box to make it safe. So then I'm going to take my stickers and write a little note and just say thank you. I try to do this as much as I can in as many packages as I can. Again, just to put a little extra touch and say thank you so much and show my appreciation for everyone that purchases something from me. I think it is a nice little personal touch and helps with repeat buyers. So I write a little note. Thank you for your purchase. And it's got my sticker on the front. And then we are going to tape it up. So do a little shake test. You'll see I do the shake test on almost all of my packages. It should not move once it's in the box at all. You want to be able to shake it, throw it across the room, kick it, and nothing is going to move in there. So I had a video of me weighing it and measuring it, but it was sideways. So I'm just going to show you, those small priority boxes are a 7 by 7 by 6. So you're going to go in and adjust it. You're going to do 7 by 7 by 6. And I sold it as a 1 to 2 pounds, but it only ended up being right about 1 pound. So I'm going to change it to 16 ounces. It's still going to keep it in the priority box, but it's going to be more specific. This was hard to do with my left hand, so don't mind me. But I figured it out. You're a little wobbly, but we got it. So then you're going to go ahead and save the changes. And then after you save the changes, you are going to generate the label and you are going to be good to go. Then just toss that box right over there. Just kidding. I mean, it's wrapped and packed to be thrown, but we're not going to push our luck. All right, now check out this one. Next thing we're going to wrap is this glass flower. Okay, so these, I need a little Celsius before we get started on this bad boy. But the glass flowers, I'm always amazed. These things have lasted hundreds of years, and I manage to break them almost all the time. So we are not going to break this. So first we're going to weigh it. It weighs about 7 ounces. So I sold this one at less than a pound. If you are a seller and whatnot, you know that when you put in a weight, if it's going to be under a pound, the shipping is only about $4, but you need to make sure it can go in a box that is not priority and that it's going to still weigh under a pound when you are all said and done. So I was going to wrap it in the big bubble wrap, but I didn't like how that looked. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a little bubble wrap and we're going to shove it right in the center. So you're also going to see, and then we're going to do some extra wraps right around the top, thick, so it's going to give a little bit more protection. You're going to see a couple times throughout the videos, anytime there's open space, you want to try to put something in the open space so that it does not shatter as it packs. So I know that this doesn't look like a lot of bubble wrap, but just wait, trust the process. We're going to do a couple wraps around with the thin bubble wrap, one wrap with the big rubber wrap, and then my favorite thing ever, the shrink wrap. Trust the process, trust the process, trust the process. We are going to wrap it up extra tight with the shrink wrap. Again, it's already got those couple layers of bubble. I like to have the small and the big. Gives a little extra protection. And then, you know what we got to do? We got to throw it across the room, right? We got to do the test, throw it across the room. I don't know why I make this joke every single time, but I'm going to, so get used to it. All right, so I weighed it and it's starting to get a little heavy, so I have to go find the perfect box. But I did. Here's another piece of advice, little tips and tricks I put on Facebook to everyone. This is me being very excited that it's still under a pound, even with the box. Everyone that I needed boxes and shipping supplies, and so people dropped them off for me. Okay, I need to make some bubble wrap. So pause on that other story. We're going to go to the bubble wrap machine. Isn't this thing amazing? This is a lifesaver. I know. I totally recommend getting this. It's an investment at first. It was $299 on Amazon, but it really saves me so much money in the long run. I pack a couple hundred orders a day, and that bubble wrap really saves the day, even when it doesn't work right, which you're going to see here. See how nice these bubbles are? Yeah, look at the bubbles on this end. Why didn't they want to work? But it's okay. We're going to use it as extra padding. So when I told you to trust the process, this is kind of what I mean. When you are wrapping, so I put the small bubble, then I put the big bubble, then I wrapped it in shrink wrap, then it's in that layer of bubble, and now I'm going to put bubble all around it in the box. So it's going to have 4 or 5 different layers of protection by the end. So sometimes it may not look like everything. I am not a big double box type of person, honestly, because I usually make sure the weights are as close as possible so that I can get people as best of a deal on shipping as possible. So I don't usually double box things. I don't usually add a lot of heavy things. I just do layers on layers of different size bubble and different layers of protection. Write my little note, put it in there, and then get ready to tape the box up. Shake it, it's perfect. Here's another thing, make sure you do your best to remove any old labels off of them. Even putting the new label on top of the old label still is a little bit of a risk because you can take that label off and there's still people's addresses on there. So do your best to remove them. Here's my little trick again with pushing it with my body so that I can make sure to get a nice tape job on it. do it a couple times on the top and then once on the bottom just to connect the tape, because again, we know that that comes off and we're going to do our best to make sure it's there safely. And then I already did weigh it, but we're going to weigh it one more time and make sure it's still under the pound after all the tape and everything. And it is, so we are good to go. Now we're going to measure it. And I think that this is an important thing that we talk about. As long as it is under the equivalent of a 12 by 12 by 12, look at my little owl, it is good to go. So we are going to put a label on that and we're moving on to the next. And this one's got me stumped. So I made a mistake twice with this order. Usually, look at this beautiful vase. I love that. Usually I would sell this big Murano vase by itself, not being shipped with anything else, because I know it'll fit perfectly in a 12 by 12 box. And I would normally sell this purse alone too. I do not know what I was thinking selling all of these not in individual boxes. And by what I mean by when I say individual boxes is you can create custom shipping profiles. And I have custom shipping profiles for things that need to be shipped by themselves. Let me know in the comments if you want me to make a video separately on showing you how to set up a custom profile. I did figure out that I could put this vase inside of this purse, which I was super excited about because that's going to save me room for sure. So Celsius break, and let's find a box and see what we've got and what we're going to do to pack this. Okay, I talked about this before, but reminder, we want to fill any dead space. So because it is a vase, we are going to shove some bubble wrap into the dead space, and this is where some of the unbubbled bubble wrap helps me too. We're going to make sure that it's nice and tight in there, and then also what we're going to do, another tip and trick just to make sure that things are level and even before bubble wrapping something, anything that has dead space or like a space, you know what I'm saying. Just look at the vase. So underneath the vase where there is a gap, you want to try to fill that space right there. Make sure that it's all one size. So we're going to wrap one layer of bubble wrap around that, and then it's going to be all even. So then that means, again, there's no air in there. When you go to wrap it, it is all a solid piece. This is going to be a little solid triangle. So now it's got some bubble. We're going to wrap a couple layers of the little bubble around it. And then we are going to, you guessed it, shrink wrap it up and make sure that it is nice and tight. And I didn't want to lift up the shrink wrap, so I'm going to do it from down here this time. But we are different angles, you know. This is a raw behind the scenes footage of me packing. I'm also usually faster than this, but I was trying to go slow so I can show you what I'm doing. Now we're going to put it inside the purse. This is going to give another level of protection, and it's also going to save some space. So I am very proud of myself for that one and very excited. Love when things work out. And then I was going to put these little Easter things inside the big Murano vase, but I decided that they can go in the basket too. So we are going to add those things in the basket. If you ever buy anything from me and you're like, where is this? Just keep opening things because chances are it's inside something that's inside something. We like to utilize all the space and make it as easy as we can for ourselves, right? That's all we can do. Okay. Now on to the big mamma jamma we got here. We are going to, again, fill all this dead space. You do not want air. You do not want air in the package. This is me giving up on trying to keep the bubble wrap all neat. We need lots of bubble wrap for this one. But here is where, again, I have to remind you, I am putting so much other bubble wrap and everything inside the box that it may look like a thin layer of bubble wrap going on the actual product, but when it gets into the box, it is covered by layer of bubble wrap. Every little bit counts. So we are going to shrink wrap this one up, again, quite a bit more. And when you feel it, or when I felt it after I wrapped it this time, you can still kind of feel the top of the vase, which I don't love, but you're going to see how it all works out for us in a second. I shook it. I'm not really sure what I thought was going to shake in there, but all right, this is me again trying to find a box. So I told you I messed up a little bit because I didn't sell them separately, but the good thing is as everything adds up, because I sold them at the correct weight, it adds dimensional sizes as well. So the box is going to get bigger for the amount of weight. And because I sold these items at the proper weight, I think it ended up being about 200 and something ounces, it lets me put it in a bigger box. This is me playing Jenga. I swear I'm really good at Jenga, but I couldn't get this to fit right. First, I tried to put the purse on the bottom because I didn't think it was going to fit sideways, and then it wasn't going to fit with that on top. And then I was determined to make this purse fit sideways, but I didn't want to put just the purse in there by itself anyway. I wanted to put some wrap. It wouldn't go the other way. I couldn't get any bigger of a box than I have in this scenario. This is me having a little mental breakdown. But I figured it out. I always figure it out. Just sometimes it takes me a couple extra seconds. This is me looking to you for help. Help me. So I told you I didn't want to leave that purse completely not wrapped with anything. It didn't need bubble wrap, but I did want to put something around it. And you saw me multiple times try to put that purse in this box the right way, right? Watch how easy it slides in after I put a couple pieces of paper around it. So the purse was it's not going to get damaged, but I did want to have a little bit of buffer. I don't like things being just in a box. I like them to have something around them, more so because I feel like a lot of my boxes end up getting wet or damaged, and I just don't want water touching this purse more than anything. So look it fit perfectly. What in the actual? Oh wait, no, this was not me fitting it perfectly. This is me having another meltdown. Please hold. And me realizing I needed more bubble wrap, so I went and turned my machine on. But then I came back, only took a second, and then watch. Look at, again, I took a break. Man, I should probably watch ahead of time before I do these voiceovers. Okay, so let's measure the box again. Make sure, this is me second guessing myself that it might be in too big of a box, but it all works out. My bubble wrap machine overheated, so this is me giving it a little pep talk and a little rub. Please work, I need you. You got it, girl. And it worked eventually. It took a couple minutes, but I have to just make as much as I can when I get it. Look at the little happy dance. I was so happy. I love when the tools actually work for me. Okay, so now I've got bubble wrap, and I'm going to put 2 layers of bubble wrap in separate ways. So I like to double wrap it. So you'll see. I'm going to put one. I don't even know what I'm singing here. I'm going to put one level going one way, and then I'm going to put another one going the other way. So it's going to give a double on the bottom, and I'll be able to fold it down and do a double on the side. So again, you're having extra. So see how that side has the top and that side has the bottom. You want I was going to try to put it down like that, and then I thought better of it. So I changed my bubble wrap strategy, but it's going to work out great. Ready? Watch. Because it is this stinking purse. But watch how easy this purse slides in the other way with the bubble wrap. Why couldn't it do that like that in the first place? Are you kidding me? Look at that. Amazing. All right, now we're rock and rolling. Now I've got the purse in. I'm going to have plenty of space for the vase now. So I'm going to double the bubble again. One going one way, one going the other way. That makes sure that there's 2 layers on the bottom. And then I am going to put the vase in sideways. So I'm going to put I showed you earlier, the hard bottom towards the outside. And I'm going to put the top of the vase with 2 layers of bubble pushed up against the purse. That way it has the softer on the other side. And we're going to bubble both sides. I'm going to show you so you can see what it looks like. So we have 2 layers on the bottom, 2 layers on both sides. See how it's folded there? So 2 layers on the outside with the hard side and 2 layers on the inside with the top of the vase. And then I'm going to just shove some more bubble on both sides. So really, if it's squished, if it's run over, whatever the case is, there is lots of extra padding there. And normally I cut that part out, but I didn't. So you got to see me touch the camera. I had to put the camera back after I showed you. So we're going to put a few more layers of bubble on top. And this was a new purchaser, so I'm going to make sure to write them a little note saying thank you for your first purchase. And I just realized that you can kind of see my whole body, so I had to adjust myself. So I'm going to write them a little note saying thank you for your first purchase. Again, I want to tell you, as you continue to upsell, so all of these tips and tricks are really geared towards the vintage decor category. Remember, Whatnot was originally designed to sell small, lightweight, easy to ship things like baseball cards and Funko Pops and comics. They are still learning, we're still growing, and we're still trying to figure out the ins and outs, but it does work. There is so much scariness. People think it's so scary for shipping. If you sell them correctly, 9 times out of 10, it does work for you. And also, Whatnot has graciously given us 5 oopsies, we're going to call it, in case you do make a mistake and you aren't going to be charged. Please do your best to not take advantage of that. It is a gift from them that they do not have to do for us, and we know that. So please make sure you do your best to do everything right and sell everything by the book, and don't take advantage of the fact that they give you these oopsies. So here's me measuring the box again. I weighed the box, and I'm going to go put in the dimensions into the computer and make sure that it is good to go. And we are all set. Slap a label on it and put it by the door for the postman. So I usually try to get these side stickers off, but these stickers were like, I don't know, painted on there. I don't know what kind of box this was. So I just took some, this is fragile, put a few of those all over, and then I'm going to show you the box, and it is good to go. While I wrap this little beaver gift for one of my online besties, sent by one of my other online besties, I am going to answer just some, FAQs, some commonly asked questions. Let me know again in the comments if there's anything else that you want to know. But look at the little beaver. One of the things that I do is to utilize, again, as much as possible to cut down on shipping. I use little pieces of cardboard like this. I use this for giveaways. I use this for small things. I will wrap things up in this, put a little tape or a little shrink wrap around it to make sure it doesn't move, and I will send them in poly mailers. I will also do this with glass, which I know some people are like scared about, but I honestly think that the bags and the poly mailers, they just don't get crushed as much. They're in a separate part of the mail system, so it seems to work out a lot better for me. Okay, again, we are focusing on vintage decor today, so I'm going to show you how I wrap this glass basket. So the box may look really big for this basket, but again, if you are selling something and it is priority, it can go in one of these priority boxes, and as long as you put a lot of packing around it, sometimes you want a bigger box for even a smaller thing. So I was taught early on, don't pick the basket up by the handle. I swear it was like the side of the handle, but look at this beautiful glass Fenton basket. We want to make sure it gets there safe, so I'm going to show you how I do it. So one of the first things that you're going to do is you want to wrap the handle. So here's me trying to see if I could do it with the big bubble wrap, and I just didn't like how that looked. So we are going to stick with the good old small bubble, and we are going to wrap around this handle. I don't think it's necessary. Everything I am saying today, remember, this is just how I do it. These are just suggestions and tips. You're a grown-up. You do whatever you want to do. I'm just here to help. But please don't, if this is not how you would do it the way that it works for you. This is just how I do it. So I'm going to put a little bit of bubble around the handle. And this is just going to help, again, as the handles are so fragile, and anything bumping up against it, you don't want the handle to break. So you're going to work on filling the dead space in between the handle and the rest of the basket. And that starts with wrapping some small bubble around the handle itself. All right, I need to speed this up a little bit. All right, so see how the handle is wrapped? Now we're going to work on filling the rest of that dead space. We're going to put some double bubble inside the basket itself. We're going to shove it through so it's nice and tight. And then we are going to take some small bubble and do a couple laps around. And then I didn't like that the bottom was open, so I'm going to take a big piece of bubble. And before we shrink wrap it, we are going to put a little big little big piece, a big piece of little bubble, big bubble on the bottom. And look at, we have another ball. I'm not going to throw it. Don't throw it. Don't throw it. I did shake it again. I don't know why I keep shaking things. There's nothing in it. What is going to break in it? What is going to shake around? But we'll do the extra shake test. Okay, here we go again. You want to do one layer of bubble going one way, one going the other way. So you've got double on the bottom, and then on the sides, you're going to fold the sides in. So you have double on each of the sides. It makes a nice little box all the way around. Let me get a sticker. I think this was a first purchase too. So their note will say, thank you for your first purchase. And they'll get one of my stickers, and that's going to go in the box. And we're going to shake test, ready to go. Tape it up and make the label. So this is actually a 12 by 12 by 10 box, and the weight was pretty much spot on, so we're good to go. Okay, so we are back to, let's do some FAQs, some questions. This is all little stuff, so I recorded myself packaging this just so that I could answer questions during this time. So one thing is changing the weight and the box size when you go to ship it. It is not necessary, but it is suggested and it is helpful. So what I say is you should pack everything up, weigh it, measure it, and then enter the final dimensions before you print the label. It takes just a couple extra seconds, and it's better for everybody all around. Again, I suggest using these bags for anything you can. You'll see that I do wrap it in a little bit of tissue paper or a little bit of paper around it just to give another level of protection, but they work pretty good. They're nice and light. They ship quick and easy. This is me going over to the printer, printing the label. Again, get a thermal printer. They're the best things that have ever happened to me. Look at this amazing apron, and this is going to one of my very best friends all the way in California, but wait a second. I gotta send my little baby nephew a surprise. So I hope you get this before you watch this YouTube video, but there's a little prize in there for my little buddy. She has a baby. So we are going to wrap this in a couple layers of paper, and then we are going to stick it in the poly mailer, and it's going to make it all the way to California safe and sound. We're going to make it a little pretty. We're going to put a little sticker on it. Whale to go, a little baby whale sticker on it, and I'm going to write some notes. I don't know what I write. I write crazy things on everything. If you have gotten any crazy notes from me, I want to see them. So make sure you're posting them on social media, tag me, and yay, love you most ever. And this is going to go to her. So I think that this is a fun thing to do. It makes me happy. Also, again, nice little personal touch for anybody. Okay, for the last one for this video, I wanted to talk about how it adds weight. So I get a lot of questions as to, bundling or putting things together. If you sell things correctly for the correct weight, it will add the weight up as you go. So if I sold 4 separate orders to this person, 2 cups, 2 bowls, a little, I don't know if it's a tablecloth, and then an apron. There's a tablecloth. So we're going to put the tablecloth in first. I sold the tablecloth at 8 to 11 ounces. That's going to go in there. Then I sold these cups for 1 to 2 pounds, and then that's going to add up. So it's going to add up as it goes. So for the cups, we're going to shove some bubble wrap in the hole. So there's some dead space here, but I'm going to show you what I do. So I shove some bubble wrap in the top of the dead space, and then I'm going to overlap them together. So they're kind of like heel to toe. So that fills the dead space in both of them. And then I'm going to rack them in shrink wrap, and it's going to be like a perfect little rectangle. Look at that. Perfect. I didn't love it completely. I know there's bubble wrap in there, but I am going to put a couple pieces of paper on it just to be sure. And then it's going on the double bubble in the box. So now I have these 2 bowls again and this paperweight. So the 2 bowls were sold as 1 to 2 pounds, and the paperweight was sold as 1 to 2 pounds. So when all is said and done, everything will add up. And I believe that I recorded it, but we're going to show it, see if I put it here at the end. I originally sold it it went into a 12 by 12 by 12 box at 66 ounces. After I weighed it, it weighed out to be about 61 ounces. So it was pretty spot on, even with all of the bubble. Again, it is so easy. It bundles it automatically for you. I feel like we are so nervous about nothing. We are fighting against the system. But generally, if you do it correctly, the system works. It is user error 90% of the time. Let's give them a little bit of benefit of the doubt. Okay, we're going to write a little note here. I think this was a first purchase again too. So we're going to say thank you for your first purchase. We are going to bubble it, and we are going to use our body to hold it together so we get a nice tight seal on that so nothing is moving around in there. Shake it, little shake test every single time. We are going to weigh it. Here we go. This is me being super proud of myself. It was sold at 66 ounces. But then as we walk over, check this out, 60, almost on the dot. So anyway, I hope you love this video. There's the packages. Let me know in the comments any more things you want to see. Make sure to like and subscribe. I love you all. I will see you next time. Thank you. Bye.